You're listening to the Multifamily Market Watch for Washington State. Apartment owners who need to know, trust HFO, the leading source for multifamily industry news around the state, from Puget Sound to the Tri-Cities.
Welcome back to HFO Multifamily Market Watch for Washington State. I'm your host, Aaron Kirk Douglas. This Multifamily Market Watch is co-sponsored by Gantry Inc., the nation's largest independent mortgage broker, and by J.R. Johnson, experts in multifamily restoration and repair work. The Federal Housing Administration has increased the threshold for multifamily loans to be considered large loans from $75 to $120 million. The agency says this change will increase the number of properties eligible for standard underwriting. The threshold has not been revised since 2014. Yardi Matrix reports that demand for apartments remained healthy in June as growth slowed to the lowest rate since 2011. As rents have fallen from their 2021 peak, occupancy rates have settled at 95%. Rents appear to be growing within a regular seasonal pattern, but below pre-pandemic trends. According to Yardi, worries coming into the year about a hard landing for multifamily appear unfounded. Still, growth remains fragile, and with the Federal Reserve signaling more rate hikes, the ongoing crisis for properties needing refinancing is far from over. As for the numbers, Seattle demonstrated a 0.5% rent increase in June, with Portland at about 0.25%. Seattle lease renewals are running at about 58%, while Portland's are slightly higher at 61%. The Yardi rent growth forecast for year-end 2023 now stands at an estimated 0.7% for Seattle Metro and 1.2% for Portland. The Washington State Department of Commerce says it will make a historic investment in affordable housing projects statewide. The agency opened applications for nearly $303 million in affordable housing projects in late June. Since 1986, the Washington State Housing Trust Fund, administered by the Commerce Department, has invested more than $1 billion in capital to build or preserve more than 60,000 units of affordable housing in Washington. The Puget Sound Business Journal reports that Seattle City Council member Kshama Sawant's rent control bill is still alive despite its rejection last Friday by a council committee. The measure will go to the city council within 2 weeks. Even though rent control is prohibited by state law, Sawant is pushing the ordinance as a trigger law that would take effect immediately once the state allows it. Sawant's ordinance would freeze rent increases for 18 months, after which the city would establish maximum annual rent increases that would apply to most all rental housing. In recent years, Seattle has approved over 24 new laws impacting landlords. This burden has forced many small landlords out of the marketplace. The Business Journal reports the number of units owned and operated by small landlords, those with 20 or fewer units, dropped by 17% over the last 4 years, as the number owned by larger companies increased by 12%. The remaining 5% equivalent home rentals were removed from the rental pool. As Sawant calls for rent control, a recent check on U.S. Census Bureau data shows that Seattle renters are among the most affluent of any large city in America. Nearly 40% of all renters have a household income of $100,000 or higher, placing Seattle third behind San Francisco and San Jose. Seattle also ranked behind those cities in renter median income. These incomes are primarily the result of technology jobs, as Seattle was also recently ranked the number 2 city for tech talent. Tech jobs in Seattle increased by almost 30% between 2017 and 2022. With incomes up, threats of rent control, and high interest rates, it's no surprise that Seattle apartment production has slowed to a trickle in 2023. In urban King County, only 337 units were delivered through the end of May. Pierce County added 708 units during that same time. If the current pace of deliveries continues, the King, Pierce, Snohomish, and Kitsap markets will have the lowest deliveries since 2010-2012, when commercial real estate last slumped. And that's bad news for a metro area in the middle of a housing crisis. And finally, the Tacoma Town Center development has been placed on hold due to financing issues, according to developer Galena Equity Partners of Boise. The company said it has put the project on a short-term hold. Watch for a special edition of Multifamily Market Watch Washington next month when Greg Frick interviews an attorney regarding changes to state eviction processes and security deposits. In the meantime, catch up on all the latest multifamily news by visiting our Northwest Apartment Investor blog, available through our website at hfore.com.
Our entire office specializes in multifamily real estate, making HFO the largest multifamily brokerage in the Pacific Northwest. Your success is our passion. Build your legacy with HFO. Call 503-241-5541 or visit our website at hfore.com for more information. HFO is an affiliate of the Global Real Estate Advisor Network.